Hi, this is Pim from Smart Diabetics Academy, and today we are going to talk about fruit for diabetics. Do you have any idea how many people search for this on Google? Every month, 27,100 people Google the term fruit for diabetics. So it's clearly something that you guys are aware of, and you're trying to find out what fruits are best for diabetics and which ones you can eat, which ones you can't eat, etc. And I'll tell you what fruits are the safest in just a moment, but first I want to talk about fruit in general. And I also want to share some pictures of what some fruits used to look like back in the days before we domesticated them. So let's actually have a little look at what they did look like. So this is a wild watermelon, and as you can see, there is a lot of that horrible fibrous stuff that I think tastes like cucumber. And I would say most people that eat watermelon eats it because of that red melon flesh that is super sweet and tasty. At least I do. And this is how I want my watermelon to look like. I absolutely love a perfectly ripe, sweet watermelon. But guess what? Watermelon is really, really high in sugar, and it isn't especially good for you at all. So what about other common fruits that I usually hear people talk about? So what about bananas, for example? So this is what wild bananas look like. They have a lot of large, hard seeds. So if you were eating a banana back in the days, you wouldn't actually get a lot of energy from it. Plus, they were much smaller than the bananas we eat today. And they also contained roughly a third of the sugar compared to our bananas in the actual banana flesh, which there wasn't a lot of because the seeds were massive and were taking up a lot of space. So just imagine how little energy you would get from one of those and how complicated it makes it to eat that banana. Anyhow, lastly, I want to pick on corn. Corn isn't technically a fruit, really, but maybe many people want to believe that corn is healthy and it's a good thing to eat, but just look at this. This is where corn comes from. This is what it used to look like. So this plant was domesticated about 7,000 years before Christ, and it was like, it has been described like a raw, dry potato, and you got about 5 to 10 really, really hard kernels from each plant. So the corn we have today is about 1,000 times larger and 3.5 times sweeter than its ancestor. So it's nothing like on this picture. So yes, we are very clever and we're very good at producing things that we enjoy, but we have to pay a price for that, and we pay with our health, unfortunately. If we had stuck to eating just corn and not maybe made just, high fructose corn syrup from it, if we hadn't been genetically modifying the corn and mixed it with all the processed foods that we're having, we might still have been okay. Because our bodies, they can handle a little bit of, well, quite a bit, I would say, of dietary abuse before they actually get ill. But once our metabolism has been damaged, which is the case for every single type 2 diabetic, you have damaged metabolism, we have to be very, very careful with what we're eating. Because once it's damaged, we need to give our bodies a chance to repair that. And meanwhile, you can't process carbohydrates the way that someone who does not have type 2 diabetes do. So my recommendation to all diabetics, whether that's type 2, type 1, whatever, is actually to stay away from all fruits. Yep, not eat anything at all. However, I do know that many of you are very emotionally attached to fruits as a substitute for processed sugar. So if that's you, there are actually 2 fruits that can be okay for you to eat. And you might not like them, but lemons is the first one, and limes. So lemon contains 100 grams of lemon contains 9 grams of carbs, and of those 2.5 grams of sugar. And for lime, it's 11 grams of carbs and 1.5 grams of sugar. So if you like them, congratulations. You can safely eat a couple of limes or a lemon if you must. If you are like me and your mouth shrivels up just thinking about it, maybe you want another alternative. So your absolute best bet is always berries. I like blueberries, as some of you might know. I do like eating my blueberries, but they're not the best berries when it comes to being low in carbs and sugar. So the absolute best ones is actually raspberries. 100 grams of raspberries, 100 grams is just a little bit more than 3 ounces, 3.5 or something like that. Contains 12 grams of carbs, but only 4.4 grams of sugar. And blackberries and strawberries are also quite good. So blackberries 10 grams of carbs, 4.9 grams of sugar. Strawberries have the same amount of sugar but less carbs in total, with 8 grams of carbs per 100 grams. And just for the sake of it, because some of you know how much blueberries I eat, or you don't actually know how much I eat, but you do know that I regularly eat blueberries. And they're actually 14 grams of carbs per 100 gram, and of that 10 grams is sugar. So not the best berries, but I do like them. I actually do have strawberries sometimes as well. So please don't go and stuff your face full of berries. That's not what I'm saying. That's not okay. So 100 grams might be in the range of okay for most people if you don't eat a lot of other carbs. But generally, as a rule, I don't recommend anyone who has diabetes to eat more than 10 grams of carbs with each meal. So you really need to have a 0 carb meal, and then you can have roughly 100 grams of berries as a dessert, and you should be okay. But if your blood sugar is just going haywire on that, then you need to pull it down a little bit. So just always check your blood sugar when you're doing something, because you don't want to just assume that it's safe for you, because everyone reacts differently. So that's my take on fruit. And if you like this kind of stuff, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, because I will produce a lot more videos that will come out. And if you also press that little bell icon, you will get a little notification whenever I post a new video. If you have any specific problems that you want help with, just leave a comment under this video or send me an email at pim@smartdiabeticsacademy.com, and you will find the email in the description. Just tell me what you want help with, and if I can make a video about it, I will. So I will see you again in the next video.